Welcome to the Digital Dreaming Off the Gridiron podcast. It is your host, Asif Ali. I'm joined today by my co-host with the most, Mr. Cortez Branch. Cortez, how you doing today, brother?
I'm doing real good.
Yes, sir. Yeah, the third time you on the show, so and we had to go for the trifecta, especially after this weekend. WWE action, obviously, we're going to lead off with NFL action, starting off with my San Francisco 49ers with a 37-15 defeat over the Carolina Panthers. Jimmy Garoppolo, 18 of 30 for 253 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jeff Wilson Jr., 120 yards rushing, touchdown. Kittle finally got back from that, that injury, 47 yards receiving. Debo obviously, came up big as well with a touchdown. So, I mean, the Juwan Jennings also looked really good yesterday. I mean, there's a lot of great, there's a lot of great reasons to be excited as a Niners fan for this team. But, also I want to talk about the flip side of the coin. This breaking news that Matt Rhule got fired today from the Carolina Panthers. I mean, he went 11-27, in his 3 years as head coach over there. And, the team that they lost to, we were talking about this before we started recording, but, in my opinion, the Carolina Panthers, with Baker Mayfield, they didn't really have too much of an offense and defense to really kind of put Matt Rhule, especially a quarterback, right, that put Matt Rhule in a situation to win. And, you look at the last 3 seasons, it's been a carousel, right? They had Kyle Allen, they had Cam Newton, then they had, obviously they had Darnold, right? They traded for Darnold last year. And then they had Baker Mayfield, right? Or Darnold, I guess 2 years ago, whenever it was, right? And then Baker Mayfield this last year. So it's just been like, a carousel of QBs and, their GM, I'm not really too sure what to say about Tepper, right? But kind of let me get your thoughts. First, I don't know if you saw the game, but obviously if you saw it, if you have any thoughts on that, but, obviously on the firing of Matt Rhule, obviously it was long overdue, but to make a coaching to change this early in the season, it's kind of unprecedented.
I don't think I've ever seen a head coach fired within 4 games of the NFL season. Maybe college.
Yeah.
That's better. Let's see if I can adjust this a little bit more.
Okay, yeah, gotta rip that logo. Unworthy Club. We out here,
baby.
Yeah,
Unworthy Club.
Woo! Yes, sir.
So, I really just feel like they messed up, and they knew they messed up. And instead of letting it drag out for an entire season, they wanted to just go ahead and cut their losses.
Right.
Which I get it, but it's kind of like the Panthers don't stand a chance to do much of anything now. Like, if they magically just got better because they fired the coach, I'd be surprised.
100%. I think, Baker Mayfield has been just abysmal all year. He's I was watching on his field this morning. I didn't know this, but he's last in the league in QBR. He's just, I think he's 25th something overall, maybe in I think every category statistically, if not that last, right? And Christian C-Mac, obviously, McCaffrey's been great, coming out of the backfield and also being, the receiving threat, the dual threat that he is. But Baker Mayfield as your quarterback is not it's not a situation, where you're basically preparing yourself to win. I know they made the coordinator now. I forgot his name, but basically they made the coordinator now the interim head coach, right? For the last 13 games of the season. Or is it 13? No, 12 games. Because now we're in week 6 coming up.
Yeah,
so
they're in week 6 now.
Week 6 now. So it's interesting to see. You're right. It's kind of unprecedented to see a coach fired, this early. I honestly thought they should have made this decision, the off season, but I guess they thought that, maybe Baker Mayfield would have turned the ship around for Matt. But sometimes they say, hey, sometimes the coach change is better late than never. I know when Mike Nolan was fired, and Mike Singletary is brought in, that was kind of the first foundation of kind of the laying. It was the first kind of step to lay the foundation of what would be the early 2010 Niners squad, that basically made it to 3 NFC Championship games and Super Bowl under Jim Harbaugh, right? Because Mike Singletary was able to kind of assemble a great defense, a great, kind of team around both Alex Smith and just around a solid run game. And that became the 49ers identity. And basically now it's the same identity. Solid run game, great defense, a subpar QB. But ultimately, when he needs to play, he's been playing. I've been basically seeing a lot of Niners fans on Twitter. They've been they're giving Jimmy props finally, for how well he played this week. But I've mostly some who say, because he played against such a lowly opponent, we shouldn't be getting too excited. And I can see from both ends, but, to put things in perspective, I mean, all the divisional opponents in the NFC West, mean the Seattle Seahawks, the Arizona Cardinals, and the Los Angeles Rams lost over the weekend, and the Niners were only team to win. So now the Niners have a 1-game cushion in the NFC West. So I mean, it's definitely big. It's definitely big.
Yeah, I mean the part that really gets me is Seattle and Denver. Like, what are these teams? Denver has absolutely no identity.
Right.
Seattle just lost another quarterback. Teddy Bridgewater's done for now. Like, him not being in that game pretty much just lost them that whole game the other night.
Oh, you're talking about Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, my bad, Miami.
Yeah.
They have Geno in Seattle.
Yeah.
He just wet the bed that day.
Yeah.
You're like, Geno wet in the bed. Why is my lighting acting crazy? I'll fix this. Yeah, there we go. We'll fix this lighting.
No, absolutely.
Perfect.
Yeah.
There we go. Geno wetting the bed the other day is probably one of the worst examples that I've seen in a long time of a quarterback just like having it all and then just like dropping it all off.
Right.
And it's like you have DK Metcalf. And I know you play fantasy football. I play fantasy football as well. Keeps us connected in a lot of ways when it comes to not actually being on the field. And DK doesn't put up any impressive numbers this year. Whose fault is that? Is it DK's fault, or is it the offensive coordinator's fault, or is it the quarterback's inability to get him the ball? I would hazard a guess say it's probably all three, probably a combination of all of them. I personally feel like Denver is, until Denver can figure out the fact that they have three receivers that are either number 1 caliber or number 2 caliber and getting them all the ball, Denver's going to be trash.
Yeah.
Not to mention Russell Wilson's injured.
Yeah.
So it makes it kind of difficult. It makes it kind of difficult for me to think that they're going to do anything important.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, DK's numbers, 88 yards and a touchdown, not bad. Last week against Detroit, 7 receptions for 149 yards, good. But then the previous 3 games, 64 yards, 35 yards, 36 yards, and a combined 1 touchdown in the first 3 games to open up the year. So he's on the regular season, 372 yards, 28 receptions, and 2 touchdowns so far through 5 games. So definitely mediocre. Your points are valid. I think another kind of issue with Denver is, this is Seattle, but moving on to Denver, to your other point, I think Nathaniel Hackett is just, he's not a good situational play caller. First year head coach, right? First year quarterback, like you said, 3 starting receivers, Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy's on my fantasy team. And Hamler, right? You saw him throw his helmet down in the last game when they lost against the Raiders. I really think that, this team is going to continue to struggle under Wilson and under Hackett this season. I think this team is really struggling, like you said, to find their identity. Miami, obviously, they're limping along, right? Teddy Bridgewater being out, that's why they got thromped. I don't even know if that's a word, but they got stomped for sure, by the Jets yesterday, right? And but I mean, Seattle, obviously, Geno's having a good season, but, I think, the playmakers, the Seattle will be winning a lot more games if Geno was making the plays to help them win the game. Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I'm agreeing with you 100%.
And Russell Wilson ultimately, he made the plays to help the Denver Broncos beat the Niners, but the Niners basically played down to the competition in week 3. Yeah, week 3. And I'm looking forward. I wish that we were going to play them again, but I'm looking forward to the next two games. I guess against now, obviously against the Atlanta Falcons. And hopefully, we get a pretty solid win. I mean, we have some injuries on the season. Obviously, Emmanuel Mosley's out for the season. But we got Jason Vera coming back. We got a lot of other. Lenore obviously can step up. Jimmy Ward should be back. Actually, Jimmy Ward broke his hand, so I'm not sure if he's going to come back. But there's a lot of depth. There's Ambry Thomas as well. So we definitely have players. And we have depth. So we might use Atlanta as a tune-up game before Kansas City comes to Levi's. In 2 weeks. So I mean, there's Niners are trending upwards. I think Seattle is trending downwards. Denver is trending downwards. Miami, obviously, with the injury bug, definitely could trend downwards. Let's talk about your Chicago Bears. I mean, they were looking pretty good the first 3 weeks when they beat my Niners in that opener. And then, they lost to Minnesota, obviously a great game. It went down to, last possession, last minute, 29-22. Minnesota got the win. Now 4-1, first place in the NFC North. But, Justin Fields has been kind of a surprise in the both kind of, on the good side and the bad side, this season. So, I mean, the Bears are 2-3.
So the last couple of games, aside from the Green Bay game, we saw, even in the Green Bay game, honestly, we saw Justin Fields be great.
Yeah.
We saw him make throws that we didn't think that he could make. We saw him get out of situations that we didn't think he can get out of. He showed his strength. He showed his leadership. The Bears have a problem in the front office.
Mm-hmm.
The Bears front office is completely terrible. The Bears ownership is terrible.
Yeah.
The Bears didn't make an effort to get a number one wide receiver, and they let Allen Robinson go to where he's doing what? Nothing in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Like, you went to Los Angeles thinking that you were going to repeat for a Super Bowl. That's why you went.
Yeah.
But you forgot that Cooper Kupp is the main target.
100%.
I don't know if you have the numbers in front of you, but if you could pull up the numbers for me.
Oh, absolutely.
What is Cooper Kupp's average targets per game this season?
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, off memory, when they played us last week, they targeted him 67 times on the Monday night game.
67?
67 times in one game, if I'm not mistaken. Or yes, something around that. So let me see. Cooper Kupp, I have his stats, but I want to see his actual targets. I don't care about the receptions because he's gonna get good numbers, but I want to see his targets throughout the season. So let's go to ESPN. Okay, so on the season, 49 receptions, 52 yards, 10.8 yards per reception. That's great. But where's the target? Targets. Yeah. So versus the NFC, he's at 49 targets, 29 in October, 39 at home. So I need like the full. Yeah, I apologize. 64 targets on the season in the last 5 games. And he's at 49.
How many pass attempts does Matthew Stafford have?
Yeah, let's check that. So Matt Stafford on the season. So yeah, I gotta pull it up again. Give me one moment. Okay. Stafford on season is attempting. Geez, it's a lot. Okay. 134 out of 192. So he has a pretty high completion percentage, around 69.8%. For 1323 yards, but 5 touchdowns, 7 picks. I think he's leading the league in picks. If he's not, he's top 2, top 3.
So we're just under 50% of the pass attempts go to Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
That's astronomical.
Yeah.
That's an astronomical number. Oh, that's like high school football.
Oh my God.
If 50% of pass attempts are aimed at Cooper Kupp, or at least in his general direction, which they are, then why would anyone think that they were going to receive a better opportunity in Los Angeles? Any number one wide receiver. It's just a problem. And that's their main problem. Their main problem is teams have figured out we can win games if we let him throw the ball to Cooper Kupp, because no one else will be involved in the offense. The tight ends don't have great numbers in Los Angeles.
Nope.
Matter of fact, the tight ends in the league this year have horrible numbers.
Yeah.
The tight end position is quickly becoming the fullback position.
Oh, yeah.
They're almost non-existent position in modern football. I should say the modern NFL. I shouldn't say modern football because that's kind of like an understatement. But
yeah.
in modern the NFL, the fullback position is almost a non-position.
Right.
So I want to go and say that the Bears need a wide receiver. If the Bears had a wide receiver, for example, last week's game against Minnesota, the Bears had the Minnesota Vikings beat. All you got to do is go out of bounds.
Yeah.
What was he doing?
Right.
There's a minute left on the clock. You catch the ball in the red zone. Go out of bounds. I repeat, you have giant linemen with a minute on the clock. Go out of bounds. I don't get it. The Packers are mad because they keep getting beat. Well, let's face it. They're not that good.
100%.
If the Bears had a wide receiver, they would have beat the Packers too.
Absolutely.
It's ridiculous. This all of this is ridiculous. All of it. It's all dumb. Like I'm almost pissed at how dumb the NFL season has been this year. You have people on the internet talking crap about my man Tom. Talking crap about my man Tom. Oh, Tom Brady's washed up. The man threw for 400 yards. And might I remind you, he has seven. He has more rings than some people have fingers. Seven. What mistake did Tom Brady make? He didn't throw any picks. No lost fumbles. He threw for almost 400 yards, got 4 touchdowns. Why did he lose that game? That's what happens in football sometimes. I get it. But these people just want to say stupid things to get people going because, yeah, he's got a problem with his wife right now. A lot of people have had problems with their family members, their wives, their daughters, their, whatever, because playing sports takes you away from them because you have to dictate time to play sports, to work out for the sports. And if you're famous, you have to do appearances, you have to do shows, you have to fulfill your endorsements, you have to shoot videos. I stepped away from football for over 2 years because, my ex wanted me to step away from football to be more of a father at home. It wasn't what caused our breakup because I did it. I stepped away. I'm not Tom Brady. I regret it every day. I regret losing 3 years from my career. 3 years. I lost 3 years from my career. And I only played football in championship games. I regret it.
Yeah.
I turned 35 on Wednesday. And I kind of wish I was 32.
Yeah.
I guarantee you that Terrell Owens will say the same thing.
Yeah.
I guarantee you that David Montgomery was 2 years younger. I guarantee you that Saquon Barkley wishes he was 2 years younger.
Oh, yeah.
I guarantee you Reggie Bush wishes he was 30.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Jerry Rice has talked about it. Deion Sanders has talked about it. They would love to be 25 again and playing in this league today. With the team Tom Brady has behind him, with the ability he still has, the fact that everyone else is injured, he isn't. Talk about him. Secondly, and I'm going to say this, and I think that you can agree with me. Nobody likes the refs.
Oh, yeah. No. Oh, my God.
Nobody likes referees. At
Yeah.
any point in time, no one likes referees because the exact same referees that'll call a play that you enjoyed will be the same referees that make you hate your life.
100%.
And will make you hate them.
And I just want to actually now we can talk about, the call of the weekend against your guy, Tom. Tom obviously, bounced back from that almost 400-yard game, a loss against Kansas City by rebounding and beating the Falcons this weekend at home, a pretty convincing win. Ultimately, the one call near the end where Grady Jarrett actually gets a sack on third down. And he basically, when he's going to the ground, he actually cushions Tom Brady's fall by actually rolling Tom over his body, as he goes down. So he's turning and he's rolling him with him, and he's not exerting his body weight on Tom Brady, which has now basically been banned by the NFL because in the 80s, where my last guest, Randy Cross, used to play, in that era,
Exactly.
and it was basically murder for hire, right? Basically anyone could get away with anything. I mean, there's no such thing as contact within 5 yards, and it was just a bloodbath, left and right. And we had CT was basically a non-existent concept at that point. Obviously, lots of different quarterbacks from that era, such as Jim McMahon, right? Struggles with Alzheimer's and dementia, right? So ultimately, they've obviously changed the game to make it safer for the quarterback, protecting the star, protecting the investment. Tom Brady being the face of the NFL, been the face of the NFL for some time, right? I mean, it makes sense,
Yeah.
but I mean, I just thought that call was one of the worst calls I've seen all year. It's one of the softest calls I've seen all year. And I watched Tom Brady on YouTube talk about defense, and he said the way that defense is being coached now because of the rule change, it's almost like you're giving a pass to quarterbacks and offensive players to play bad defense. Because
did you watch Monday Night Football last night?
Oh yeah, it's Sunday Night Football. Yeah.
Did you see the last sack on Matthew Stafford?
You're talking about last? Oh, sorry, Monday Night Football last week.
No,
yeah.
my bad. My bad. Did you watch Sunday Night Football last night?
With Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow, right?
Did you see how? No, it wasn't that game. It had to be. No, it was the Dallas Cowboys game.
Yeah.
Against Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Did you see how Matthew Stafford took a hit from Jalen Ramsey?
Yeah.
How Jalen Ramsey just hugged him and pushed him down?
No, Jalen Ramsey is on the Rams. I think you're talking about what's his name? Micah Parsons. Yeah, Micah Parsons, yeah.
No, it was Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey's
Jalen Ramsey's on the Rams with Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
Matt Stafford's on the Rams.
Oh yeah, I'm talking about Cooper Rush. Sorry,
Cooper Rush. Okay, yeah.
My brain got jumbled for a second.
No, you're good.
Cooper Rush got sacked by Jalen Ramsey on a what we used to call an ice.
Yeah.
And ice is for those non-football people. In most playbooks, ice is a cornerback blitz. It's where the cornerback lines up as a cornerback and sends it towards the quarterback to try and blitz him and sack him. It doesn't usually work, but what it does is move the quarterback out of the pocket. If you have a less mobile quarterback and he's moved out of the pocket, he might make a bad pass, or you force him into someone else that's trying to sack him. Because 100%. The defensive line knows what's happening, the offense doesn't, and the defensive line is shifting while the offense is pass blocking. So you have you basically send an extra guy to cause disruption. Right. Except Cooper Rush didn't see Jalen Ramsey coming from the back, and Jalen Ramsey just kind of folded him over a little bit, but didn't really hit him that hard. When we were growing up, and even when we learned how to play football, that was Cooper Rush would be in the hospital with back injuries right now.
100%.
He'd be in the hospital with back injuries right now.
Yeah.
And Do I think that playing softer football is good? Yes and no. I think that laying out defenseless receivers is a bad thing. But I also think that when you lay out defenseless receivers, they don't try to do some of the crazy things that the receivers of today do.
Right.
I think that when you allow defenders to jam receivers, I think that you're teaching good defense. I think that shot blocking is probably the dumbest thing in the world, but it serves its purpose. I just couldn't see myself diving at somebody's knees for the sole purpose of one play. But it served its purpose when football was football. So yeah, some rule changes are great. Some rule changes are bad. Do I think that the slam is good for removing from football? Absolutely. Do I think that the I call it the alligator roll is good for football? No, I think the alligator roll sucks. Stop doing it. You're tearing people's ACLs. You're tearing MCLs. You're ripping apart people's Achilles. As some of you might know, after my championship game in Denver earlier this year, I got hurt really bad from a guy that literally grabbed my leg, could not force me to the ground. No whistle was blown. I'm still chopping my feet, and he's holding on for dear life. A grown man is holding on for dear life on one leg, and he just starts spinning while he's being dragged. He didn't let me go. He just started spinning to the point of where we're locked up like pretzels. I'm still standing on my other foot. I ended up with a fracture and a bunch of messed up ligaments that took a long time to heal that I still have issues with sometimes. And that was over 6 months ago. I'm just glad I didn't need any surgery. And the funny thing about it is the doctor that I had, the orthopedic surgeon, told me that she would have put me in a cast if she would have seen the MRI results immediately instead of what the x-ray showed. The x-ray just didn't show too much damage, but the MRI showed everything. And I just got to say, playing bad defense because of the rule changes is worse than playing regular defense. Because that guy would have went to hit me, then I probably would have been fine today. I probably would have been fine then. And I played on it afterwards, huge mistake of mine, but I'm a player, man. That's what we do.
100%. I mean, obviously, at the minor league level, semi-pro, as well as kind of arena level, it's a lot less regulated. I remember in a game when I was with the Chicago Falcons, and it was I think it was April, 4 years ago. Damn, time flies. Yeah, so basically, the play, it was basically just like a blocking play, and obviously a running back leaked, and he basically cut around the edge, of the line, basically went up the field, basically up the sideline. And basically I want to say it was a safety, right? Someone basically came to help, right? And because he basically beat out, any type of nickel or dime, was trying to, kind of recover and gather, right? Make the play. And basically the safety just, he made a business decision not to try to tackle a 275 pound fullback. We just made a decision to basically go, and go at the knees, chop block. And essentially, my coach was screaming, Coach Rob, who's been a guest on the show, right? That was outlawed in the 90s. Right? So, yeah. It's a lot more dangerous, at the non kind of, Premier League level in the NFL, when you're playing, obviously, and like you said, non-football people may not appreciate this. If you're only here for the NFL, then I get it, but I think it's really important to note that, obviously, there's nuances and differences, between the game, right? Like, for example, if you see the USFL, when they sack the quarterback is basically getting hit like anyone would get hit in the 80s or 90s in the NFL. When you're watching when you watch the AF, which no longer exists, right? Or you watch the AFL, same thing, right? Indoor, less space, and hitting that barricade.
You're getting rocked, man. You're getting rocked.
Yeah, FCF, right? All that, right? You're getting rocked because it's not just you and the man. You're basically you, the man, the barricade, And the weight of your body, as well as whoever is colliding with you against that barricade, multiplies the impact, right? So
I'm going to say this, and I'm going to mean this. And I'm not trying to, isolate, and you might want to clip this part, but I'm not trying to isolate you guys when we say anything like this, but I'm going to make it very plain and clear to you. This football lifestyle is not about money to 95% of these football players out here. They are not stepping on the field worried about their $1 million paychecks. They're not stepping on the field being just worried about their contracts. They're not like football movies do not do justice to what these guys really care about. When you line up on that football field, your only thought is, I have to do my job and I have to beat the guy in front of me. That's it. The money is, you're not thinking about going to work next week. You're not thinking about that. And most of them don't even look at it as a job. That's why NFL players get in trouble. They started playing football because it's fun. When we coach children, and I'm a certified USA football coach. I have been certified since 2016 to coach the sport of football. That is a legal license to coach the sport of football anywhere I so please. I can, it's not happening, but I could get a call tomorrow from the Chicago Bears and say, we want you to come and coach. And I have coaching certification to back it up.
Yeah.
I'm not a guy that's coaching a Pee Wee football team with no experience and no learning behind it. We go to an entire football university, all coaches that are certified coaches in the sport of football, from the NFL all the way down to Pop Warner football, are certified coaches. It is not legal to coach football. That's how the sport has progressed. It is no longer legal to coach football without certification. I'll get my lanyard out and show you guys what this looks like.
Oh, we busting out the receipt.
Oh yeah, I'm not talking about my butthole,
No, absolutely not. Keeping the receipt, baby.
I gotta show why it's important that people understand what this thing really is. And this real monster, this three-headed monster, as we call it, this monster exists.
Yes, sir.
This is not like, it's no longer, oh yeah, my kid likes to play football, so I'm just gonna go out there and coach my kid. It isn't like that anymore. It used to be that way, and it caused a lot of problems. So let me just go ahead, pull out the old trusty, and as soon as I pull that thing out, I'm gonna show you guys what this packet looks like. And that's the grid life. All I gotta do is find my football one, and then we'll be good. Yeah, bro, you need credentials, as they're called, credentials to do just about anything in the sports world today. And I get, well, don't tell me I have it buried somewhere. Yeah, I got it buried somewhere. It actually might be in my bag because I always take it with me when we go to the events and when we go play.
While you're doing that, let me also just kind of run through some scores over the weekend. 1 second, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and recap my pick'em for the weekend because I think I had not as good as a week as last week, but I went 13-3. But I do think, let me see. I think I'm still well over 500 ESPN pick'em. So let's go ahead and pull this up. Fantasy, I'm probably going to take an L. Might split in both my leagues. We'll see. Let's go ahead and pull up ESPN pick'em to go over my picks once again. All right. Okay, so week 5, here we are. So I incorrectly picked the Broncos over the Colts. I incorrectly picked the Packers over the Giants. Correctly picked the Bills over the Steelers, 30-3. Chargers over the Browns, 30-28. Vikings over the Bears, 29-22. Incorrectly picked the Vikings over the Patriots, who lost 29-0. Correctly picked the Saints, 39-32. Incorrectly picked the Dolphins over the Jets, who lost 40-17. Incorrectly picked the Falcons, who lost 15-21. But in my view, they should have won that game, because that call is the most bogus bullshit call I've ever seen. Correctly picked the Titans, 21-17 over the Commanders. Very good game. Incorrectly picked the Jaguars over the Texans, who lost 13-6. Correctly picked my Niners over the Panthers. Again, walloping finish, 37-15. Incorrectly picked the Rams over the Cowboys, 10-22. Correctly picked the Eagles, 2017, the last undefeated team in the NFL. Correctly picked the Ravens over the Bengals, 1917. And looks like right now the Raiders are up on the Chiefs 7-0. So my pick might be incorrect there. So ultimately for this week, I have gone 8-7, and I'm 40-30 overall, the 98.8 percentile, and the 10,000 ranking in ESPN picks and pick'em. So, all right, Cortez is back. Let's see what you got.
In order to save some time, because I got to find that thing. Let me see if it's up here.
Sure.
Yeah, it's not up here. In order to save some time, you guys are gonna have to tune in to the next episode that I do with him to see it. And I'll have it ready for you the next time. But I'm of the mindset that within this sport, we have to get a couple things straight. And that's the people out there play this sport because they love this sport. Not all of them, but the majority of them play this sport because they love this sport. And last thing before we shift the gears on this, I'm going to say this. Support your local minor league football teams, whether it's the AFL, whether it's any of the various minor league games in the divisions that they have. Support them. Go to these games. The average player is a college football player. And the above average player has NFL experience, arena football experience, D1 experience in college. Go support these guys. Some of them are just trying to finish their careers out and have a good time. Some of them are really trying to get back to a better place. And then there are a lot that are just trying to make it overseas. And the way to do that is because they get support. It's really difficult to go out there and put on a show for everyone, and either no one's recognizing it or the money is not there, because you have to give up your blood, sweat, and tears to do this. You have to. You'll be surprised with the quality of some of the games that you go and see. And I'm going to tell you right now, when every time somebody tells me, "Oh, this high school football team would beat that semi-pro team, or that minor league football team, that's a minor football team," that's not true. Let me explain this the best way that I possibly can, and it'll make sense this way. I know we got to talk about wrestling for the next 15, and then we're going to go enjoy some Monday Night Football. But Alabama is a D1 college with D1 recruits. They came from high school or they walked on, which is the most improbable way to walk on to a football team, especially Alabama. But not everybody from Alabama gets drafted to the NFL. Every single player that's on the Jacksonville Jaguars got chosen or drafted to play football. They went to combines. They tried out. They made it. Every single last one of them. So the guys on Alabama, a lot of them are great. A lot of them are going in the first 5 to 6 rounds. Not all of them. Not every guy at Alabama is getting in the NFL, no matter how hard he tries. So if you say that Alabama can beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, you're an idiot. You don't know sports. If you say they can beat the Jets, you're just dumb. Almost every starting quarterback in the league was a Heisman candidate. Almost every single one of them. If not won it. Half of them won the Heisman. They're not beating these guys. So go out there, support your guys that are playing minor league football. Support the AFL. Support the USFL when it returns. Support the XFL when it returns. Enjoy football. There's more than 32 qualified teams to play this sport. There's just not enough space. That's why you're watching guys that are 25 and retiring at 28. They're trying to say it's concussions, blah, blah, blah. It's not. It's literally because there's 32 teams that play football that you guys watch. The XFL is not going under because the quality of play is bad. It's going under because the money's not there. The AAFE or AAFL went under because the money wasn't there. That's it. Go grab your kids, go sit down, pay $5 to watch a game. Those guys are pros. And if you have a league by you that they're not that good in, then you don't go watch it. But go watch the leagues, go watch the games of the people that are good. So yeah, I'm playing in Vegas, November 19th at Sierra Vista High for Team USA. Come and watch me play. I will sign all of the autographs, take all the pictures. You don't have to donate any money towards any campaigns. Just come watch me play and pack the stadium. That's all I'm asking. Don't know how many more of these I got left in me, but I want to see everybody there.
100%. I think it's a perfect kind of, exclamation point because, if you think about it, Terrell Owens is 48, almost 49 years old, playing the FCF, and the FCF.
He runs a 4.4 still.
And, it's just one of those things where it's like, to your point, and obviously for your credentials, Cortez, you don't got to cite them on this show because, we already have NFL coaches who have been on this platform. So you're good there. All right. Your coach credentials are good, baby. Thanks. But, I think ultimately, to your point, the XFL, right, which is now coming back under the Rock's ownership, the AFL going bankrupt 3 years ago, the AAF as well, right? Now we have the CIF, your coach, right? NFL friend of the show, Gabe Martinez, right? He's over there. He's also now coaching over the Estrella Steelers, right? We also got the IFL, right? He's going to be there in Vegas, right? So these are things that, you're right. For anyone who just loves sport football, not just in the NFL, feel free to go ahead and watch it and go ahead and support your local teams. And you never know. You might get something out of it. $5-10 a game is enough.
You will have fun. You will have fun watching this game.
You will have fun.
You will have fun. And that's the thing. The sport of football is supposed to be fun.
100%.
Minor league baseball games are supposed to be fun. Where do you think your pros come from? Your pros just aren't pros. And I hate to say it, but like half the problem that you guys have is that you watch college football without realizing that these guys are risking their lives to not get paid.
Yeah.
Well, they're just trying to make it to the NFL so they can get paid. Most of those guys aren't making it.
Yeah.
They're not. And the ones that want to keep playing because they love the sport, like me, like you, we're going to keep playing.
Yeah. Well, like you, not me. I'm done playing.
I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you at all. I don't blame you one bit. You know 100%. What I mean? I'm sure like not disclosing anything, but I'm sure like if your body felt like it could still go, you would still go.
100%. Yeah. And I feel great. But obviously, football is a young man's sport. And ultimately, it's up to you if you want to keep going. Your body will tell you when you're ready to go. We have Tom Brady now, so I can't really make any excuses, but everyone has their own kind of, the journey. And to your point, obviously, the XFL, passing yards leader, we got to see some of that on display yesterday against my Niners with PJ Walker late in the fourth quarter. He didn't really get too much of an opportunity to kind of, play. But I'm hoping now, that he'll be able to get some more playing. He was 5 of 6 for 60 yards and 108.3 passer rating. So keep that in mind, folks. XFL coming back, the semi-pro teams, like there were guys who, like guest of the show, Darius Prince, who used semi-pro as a vehicle to get into the AFL, won Arena Bowl MVP with the Philadelphia Soul 5 years ago. Then he got on the Eagles practice squad. So you never know who you're supporting. You never know who you're going to watch. So, definitely make sure that,
if it wasn't for semi-pro football, I never would have been able to have another chance to play pro football.
100%. Me too.
If I knew about semi-pro football at 22, I probably would have landed on another team.
Yeah.
As a full-time player, not a practice squad guy, not a guy that comes in every spring and gives the work to the big guys. I probably would have had a much greater career had I known about it. Teach your kids how these sports really work. Don't make them think that the NFL is the only thing they can do. And that's all I got at this time for it. I know we got another segment.
Yes, we do. But before we do that, before we pivot, let's stay in the NFL. Philadelphia Eagles 5-0. Jalen Hurts is everyone's MVP candidate right now. I'm looking forward. I mean, the Cardinals almost beat them yesterday, so this team is definitely a great team. But obviously NFC East, which everyone thought was going to be a joke of a division. Eagles 5-0, Dallas 4-1, Giants 4-1. The only team that's below 500 is the Commanders. So it's a really interesting season. To your earlier point, to kind of open up the show now. And also before we pivot, let's go to Week 6 picks. So let's start off Washington Commanders at your Chicago Bears. Who are we going with? Bears. 57% America. Yep.
They might not have the wide receiver core, but they have enough to beat the Washington Commanders.
57% of America picks the Bears. I'm picking the Bears. All right, let's go next. My Niners, the Atlanta Falcons.
Niners.
Yep. 90% of America picks the Niners. Next up, New England Patriots at Cleveland Browns.
You know what? I think that this young kid is got some moxie. I'm going with the Patriots.
51% of America picks the Patriots. I'm picking the Browns. We'll see what Jacoby Brissett can do, but they're gonna have to play a lot better than they did yesterday. That's for sure. Next up, New York Jets at Green Bay Packers.
As much as I hate to say this, I'm gonna go with the Packers. They don't usually lose 2 in a row.
Yeah, 91% of America agrees with you. Moving on, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Indianapolis Colts, AFC South divisional matchup.
You know what? Trevor Lawrence, man. I'm going with Jacksonville Jaguars.
Wow, 38% of America agrees with you. I'm gonna go with the Jaguars. Matt Ryan's looked kind of, shot this year. I've talked about it on our podcast. Just circle back to you with Jason Wilson. I'm gonna be on that tomorrow. I'm going with the Jaguars. Minnesota Vikings at Miami Dolphins.
Minnesota. Teddy Bridgewater's injured. Teddy Bridgewater's injured. So is Tua Tagovailoa.
Yes, sir. Minnesota, 61% of America agrees with Minnesota, so we're good. We're good there. Cincinnati Bengals at the New Orleans Saints.
Saints, baby.
Oh yeah, I'm going with the Bengals. 83% of America picks the Bengals. I'm not sure why the Saints are so heavily not favored by the popular vote. We'll see.
It's because Jameis Winston. They don't believe in Jameis, but I believe in Jameis.
All right, let's see. Baltimore Ravens at the New York Giants.
Ravens.
Me too. 80% of America agrees with us. Second to last one, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Oh, no, sorry, not second to last one, but Tampa Bay Buccaneers are the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh, Brady's going to put up 50. 50 on Pittsburgh.
50 piece. Yep, 94% of America picks the Bucs. Carolina Panthers at the LA Rams.
Rams going to put up 65.
97% of America agrees with you. Well, not necessarily for the spread, but the pick. Nextly,
they're not really putting up 65. I'm just I'm disrespecting them is what I'm doing.
Yes, sir. Next up, Arizona Cardinals at the Seattle Seahawks.
Cardinals.
Me too. 74% of America agrees with us. Next up, Buffalo Bills at the Kansas City Chiefs.
Bills.
62% of America agrees with us. It's going to be a great game. Next up, Dallas Cowboys at the Philadelphia Eagles. Ooh.
Dallas Cowboys at Philadelphia Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
Eagles, baby.
Eagles fly on the road to victory. EAGLES, Eagles. 74% of America picks the Eagles. So let's go. Lastly, Denver Broncos at the Los Angeles Chargers. I think I know who we're picking.
I like Justin Herbert.
Yes, sir. 90% of America agrees with us. Those are our picks for Week 6. You heard it here, folks. 48-30. If the Raiders win, I'll be 48-31. I don't really care. I'm still winning, baby. All right, now let's pivot on to the WWE event of the weekend, Extreme Rules. All right. So the show was basically full of different types of narratives and matches as expected for any type of, pay-per-view production. But let's just go ahead. Let me just go through the results before we kind of recap everything. I apologize, folks. Let me pull this up real quick. All right, here we are. All right. So The Brawling Brutes, Sheamus, Ridge, Holland, and Butch defeated Imperium, Gunther with Ludwig, Kaiser, and Giovanni Vinci via pinfall in a 6-man tag team. Good old-fashioned Donnybrook match. Ronda Rousey defeated Liv Morgan to win the WWE SmackDown's Women's Championship in a technical submission, or Extreme Rules match, rather, but she defeated her by a technical submission. Karrion Kross with Scarlett defeated Drew McIntyre by pinfall in a strap match. Bianca Belair, as the Raw Women's Champion, defeated Bayley in a ladder match. Finn Balor defeated Edge in an I Quit match. And last but not least, the main event, Matt Riddle defeated Seth freaking Rollins via submission in a 5-pit match with Daniel Cormier serving as special guest referee. So let's start off, with the kind of, what was your initial take? And anything you want to kind of, lead off with,
I'm going to start off with the bad. Imperium, great. The Brawling Brutes, great. I'm bored of this match, though. I've seen this match 7 times in the last month. It's literally just Sheamus versus Gunther. Give me a payoff. There was no titles involved. Give me a payoff. We've seen bar fights. We've seen beer brawls. We've seen handicap matches. We've seen strap matches. We've seen all of these matches between these two groups. You got, I'm calling him Pete Dunne. Fuck a Butch. Can I have a different match? Do something with them. It doesn't, first of all, you brought back Imperium without giving us a story for them. So they're just, you still haven't given Gunther a real story.
Right.
He's just a big guy who can work. You keep on throwing out Kaiser to get beat up by either Sheamus or one of Sheamus's lackeys, Rich Holland or, Pete Dunne. Why can I not have a payoff to this match? That's the one thing the Attitude Era did right. They had payoffs and they moved on. Where are my random matches that I loved so much from the Attitude Era? I loved a match where I'd have Shawn Michaels versus like a Shawn Stasiak, or a Shawn Michaels versus like a Steve Blackman, or Ken Shamrock battling everyone. I need that to be invested in this product. I cannot be invested in a product when wins and losses, number one, don't matter. I can't be invested in the product when I have the same 6 guys fighting over and over and over again with no payoffs. Who's really better? We don't know, because Pete Dunne will beat one of the Imperium, and then one of the Imperium will come back and beat Pete Dunne, and then the week afterwards, Pete Dunne will win again, and then Sheamus will bro kick somebody, and they'll stand tall in the middle of the ring, and then SmackDown goes off air. Great. Awesome show.
Yeah.
What did you accomplish, though? I don't know, because I guarantee you they're going to fight again on Friday. When's the last time the Intercontinental title got truly defended? Right. Was it the last pay-per-view before this one?
I think so, yeah. It was Clash of the Castle. Yeah.
That wasn't even a real pay-per-view.
Yeah. I apologize. Worlds Collide was a pay-per-view. Was it NXT? Oh, NXT. No. Sorry. Go back. Yep. Clash of the Castle. It was Gunther defeated Sheamus for the Intercontinental Championship. If I'm not mistaken, somehow that match got a 5-star match by Dave Meltzer.
It was a great end. That should have stopped it right then and there.
Yeah.
That was an excellent match. We didn't need to see it again. Not this soon. If you want to see it again, build to it to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And have Sheamus win. Because Sheamus losing all the time in the big match is not good for anybody. It's not good for Walter Gunther. It's not good for him. It's not good for the Brawling Brutes. It's not good for Sheamus. Sheamus is just a big Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah.
Or a big Chad Gable. You know, we admire this man so much. His name is Kurt Angle. Because Kurt Angle was given lemons by the company, and he turned that lemon into the finest of Grey Poupon. Pond. Kurt Angle made a career of people thinking that he sucked.
Yeah.
You didn't give Chad Gable that chance. You wasted WWE, fuck you. You wasted Dolph Ziggler's talent. For what? You like if you go look at Dolph Ziggler's record when he's enhancing talent, where are those guys at? What did they do? We're not talking about AJ Styles. We're not talking about the feud he had with Shawn Michaels. We're talking about where's the B team? Where are they at? Oh, unemployed. Which I said that on purpose because we're going to go back to that later. But please take us to the next match.
Yes, sir. No, but that's a great point because, I mean, the whole I just want to kind of add my 2 cents, kind of the whole crux of the whole Sheamus and Gunther feud, right, is that Sheamus is just missing the IC belt to complete the Grand Slam, right? And essentially, like you said, I mean, and what we've seen is that Sheamus is just stacking L's. And it gets tired, that's what kind of some of the critics of Roman Reigns have said, that, it gets very tired to see, a guy just kind of the same thing over and over. And there's not enough compelling, like you said, not enough compelling opponents and competition and kind of variety to really kind of, get you something to sink your teeth into, so.
Yes. Like, I'm glad you brought that up. Roman Reigns wasn't even on the fucking show.
Exactly. Oh my God.
He wasn't on the show. I don't think any of the Bloodline was on the show.
No one's on the show from the Bloodline.
The New Day wasn't on the show.
Nope.
And what are you doing with them? Nothing.
Street Profits too. Street Profits were not on the show.
Street Profits weren't on the show. The Viking Raiders weren't on the show.
Yeah.
Dolph Ziggler hasn't been seen. Bobby Roode hasn't been seen. You have talent on your roster. You have talent on your roster. Where's Shinsuke Nakamura? Where's Alexa Bliss? Where's Asuka? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? The thing that AEW does do well is they still let you see all their people.
Yeah.
But where are these talents who should have been there? And I'm sorry. There was no Baron Corbin or Madcap Moss. There was no Kevin Owens. Where are they? We'll see them on Raw tonight. For what? No Omos. No AJ Styles. Where's the rest of the women's division? Like when you have a match and you just like trot out Natty or Tamina Snuka, I'm just like, I'm not watching this. I'm not doing it. You're gonna waste 15 minutes of my life so they can pull each other's hair and yell a lot. and do their dad's moves. Great. The thing that makes Charlotte Flair intriguing is that she reminds you every day that she's Ric Flair's daughter. But she also reminds you that because she's Ric Flair's daughter, she's great.
Yeah.
Natty don't do that.
Right.
Tamina don't do that. That's women's division in a nutshell. They just don't do it.
Yeah. They don't. And I mean, I don't want to spend too much time on the women's matches because I was thoroughly unimpressed with many of them. But we just have to kind of get through it just because it was part of the event, and so there was a towel change, right, with Ronda Rousey and Liv Morgan. But I just feel like the whole kind of, and Ronda obviously was the poster child, right, for the event. But I mean, we saw it coming. I mean, I don't know. I thought I saw it coming. I mean, Liv Morgan, the underdog champion, beating Ronda Rousey for the belt. And then Ronda basically, having the size advantage, an Extreme Rules match. And, I mean, that favors the submission specialist, Obviously, shout out to Ken Shamrock, right? Because, he was actually watching the event, SmackDown. I mean, the fans are, on Twitter are basically, hoping that Ken's teasing for a return. And, and I've done a podcast about it, individually. I hope that Ken, gets in the Hall of Fame. Maybe Triple H is, turning a new leaf over there. So, we'll see what he does. But ultimately, I mean, the Ronda Rousey Liv Morgan feud is kind of just stale. I mean, after the second pay-per-view, I thought that they could have just, scrapped it. But they're pretty much trying to milk what they can because I think there's no original ideas. So
is Shayna Baszler injured?
I guess so. I don't know. I have no idea.
I would have much rather have seen a Ronda Rousey versus Shayna Baszler match.
Oh my God. Yeah. 100%.
And I would have rather have seen that in the Fight Pit.
Yeah.
I did not enjoy watching, aside from like 3 or 4 spots, I didn't really enjoy watching Matt Riddle versus Seth Rollins either.
Right.
There's just no real context behind it.
Right.
You called me stupid. Yeah, because you are. You play an idiot. You talked about my family, which I gave no reaction to. Matt Riddle hasn't sold that at all. And Seth keeps going there, but Matt hasn't sold it. He hasn't sold any outrage. Now, it's okay. So everyone hates Shawn Michaels, except me. I love Shawn Michaels. You know why I love Shawn Michaels? Shawn Michaels knew how to sell.
Oh my God. Yeah. The master of the sell. Oversell almost, but not. Walked a fine line between overselling, but he knew how to sell just enough to where, you're not thinking he's overselling and you believe it's real.
Austin said his 2 favorite people that he loved to go against because he knew he was going to come out looking like a complete badass were The Rock and Shawn Michaels.
Right.
Because they were going to sell.
Oh, yeah.
His moves. No matter how big or how small, they were going to sell. And I just got to say, if you're not selling the situation that you're in, the ability for me to suspend a belief is over.
Yeah.
And that's what the wrestling business is. It's suspending disbelief. And while the show was great, and this is where I turned my leaf at, I loved the show. It was a good show, but parts of the show were very boring.
Yeah.
The Miz Philadelphia Flyer thing, boring. Never do that again. The segments where someone's on the phone, stop doing it. We know they're not talking to anyone. Stop doing it. The Dexter Loomis thing, stop it. Stop it. Get some help. Hey, has anybody noticed that he looks just like a character that we saw that failed and ruined a legend's career? If you don't believe me, Go back after the invasion and look up Diamond Dallas Page stalks The Undertaker. It ruined his career. I'm sorry, WWE. Stalking, breaking and entering, and harassment are not storylines. Stop doing this. Dexter Lumis playing a good guy stalker. There's no such thing as a good guy stalker.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to give it any more attention. What you got for me, Ali?
Yes, sir. No, I totally agree with all those points. And yeah, I mean, let's just kind of go over some more of the highlights. Well, I guess some of the highlights for me. I thought the Karrion Kross and Drew McIntyre match was pretty good because that one, it wasn't so much the match itself. It was just kind of the buildup that we'd seen, for Karrion Kross obviously being released last year, fans thinking that, that WWE dropped the ball and he could obviously become one of the biggest stars. Now that he's back, and this Drew McIntyre feud was, it was just obviously just everything built up. And I mean, I was on YouTube and I was also on Twitter today, reading other comments from, prominent names, in the industry. I see Ken is one of them. I think it was a good match. I think it was, all things considered, and what the expectations, I had low expectations for it, heading into it, but I thought, Karrion Kross and this Drew McIntyre feud it's a pretty good one. And having Karrion get the win, proves that Triple H is actually investing, in your point, into the talent. I think that's kind of almost like a main event type feud, in my opinion. So, but yeah, I mean, I think hopefully, we'll see if Karrion and the writers can keep this going.
Karrion Kross needs to build on his character a little bit more, but he's got it.
Yeah.
He's got it. The match was good. Everyone's gonna hate me for saying this, and I honestly don't care. I don't like Drew McIntyre. Why don't you like me, Cortez? You were great as a heel when you came out with Dolph. Your face turn sucks. Let me win a match. How are you going to win the match? I don't know. I'm going to do a kip up and then announce to the entire stadium in loud voices, 3, 2, 1. What is it supposed to be? Is it TNT dropping? Is it an explosion? No, your move that you're defeating everyone with, that we've once again suspended disbelief on, is a drop kick to the face.
Yeah.
That's what the Claymore kick is. It's a drop kick to the face. First of all, that's not how Claymores work. Claymores don't have a timer unless you add one to it. Claymores are tripped, whether it be through string or through lasers. That's how Claymores work.
Yeah.
So 3, 2, 1, let me kick him in the face doesn't make any sense because you're wasting time on opponents that are going to counter your 3, 2, 1, which that's what keeps happening to him. Go figure. Someone counters when you yell and put your fingers in the air with me. 3, 2. It's stupid. It's stupid. Just kick his freaking face off. My favorite, absolute favorite setups. And like I said, I like Shawn Michaels. My absolute favorite setups are when Shawn Michaels super kicks you out of nowhere and then sets up for the Sweet Chin Music. You're knocked out.
Yeah.
He's tuning up the band to kick your face in.
Yeah.
That is one of my favorite spots in professional wrestling from the last 2 decades. The reason why is because it was set up. The surprise Sweet Chin Music / super kick that Shawn Michaels did, it could catch anyone off guard. It's caught people off guard in the UFC.
Yeah.
People in the UFC have used the Sweet Chin Music before to catch someone off guard because no one sees it coming. So that being said, Drew, drop the sword. It's childish. Drop the sword. You're not going to cut anybody with the sword. You're not going to cut anybody in half. If Shinsuke Nakamura walked out with a samurai sword, the internet would be crying for all types of racial and cultural appropriation crap that we'd have to hear from people who don't know what they're talking about because they don't realize that he's actually Japanese. Okay?
Yeah. Man. And so, yeah, I agree with you. I think, the phase turn, I mean, they milked it again. It's over milking. Yeah, it was shocking to see him win the Royal Rumble 2 years ago. Shocking to see him beat
He's been a
Lesnar at
face for
WrestleMania.
what, 4 years now?
Yeah, he's been a face for 3-4 years. Yeah, going almost 4. But I mean, it's just I feel like that's the problem: the lack of creativity and the over kind of milking, making it to where it's stale. If that makes sense. Like the characters and the storylines are stale. Yeah, I think that's kind of I mean, I thought Drew and Roman would have been a perfect place if Drew had gotten the win, and obviously that Tyson Fury come out, and that was pretty cool. I mean, at the end of it, to kind of sing, Miss American Pie, to the crowd, but and Triple H claimed, that it was the most successful kind of pay-per-view they've had in the UK, just by sales, and I mean maybe it was, I don't know, but I think you're right. I think Drew's just kind of stale. Yeah, I mean, and I mean I kind of like Drew, and
I did like Drew when he came back.
Yeah.
I believed in Drew when he came back.
Yeah.
I stopped liking Drew when he turned on Dolph Ziggler for no reason.
Yeah.
There was no story behind it. Oh, I just don't like Dolph anymore. Why? This dude's awesome. He's the best partner you can have on the whole roster.
Yeah.
And then what do? Team with jobbers? What you got next for me?
Let's see. Yeah, we talked about the main event. Yeah, the main event, I think it was a good main event. Yeah. And actually, no, sorry, let's talk about the I Quit match. I think it was cool seeing Beth Phoenix come back for that, to kind of, help out Edge and, all that stuff. And you got to see kind of the Rhea, kind of Beth kind of dynamic. You got to see, Dominic and, kind of, and Dominic's kind of wearing on me, honestly. I don't know why. Not necessarily on the wing work, but the heel character is kind of a good fit. I mean, just because he just fits the mold of almost like a Shane McMahon, kind of like that little snooty motherfucking kid that you want to punch in the face. Like oh my God. I mean, that, I mean, I don't know, like kind of like the Mean Street Posse, right? It's almost like that's what I'm, kind of like it's almost like that. So, yeah, I mean, it's cool. I think Edge's probably gonna take some time off. That was probably on his request. That's why, they had to finish book the way it was. And, yeah, I'm thinking that, Dominic as a heel, maybe the heel, hopefully he can develop a little bit more. Because I personally like that. That's just my opinion.
I don't like Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
I don't like, first of all, Rhea has an awkward look, which is not bad. I don't think she's bad looking. I just think she has an awkward look that she needs to fine tune.
Right.
I think that like the smug smiling thing is overdone with her. I think that the I'm just such a badass thing is overdone with her.
Yeah.
Because you haven't accomplished anything since you won the women's title.
Yeah.
And you haven't been a contender since. Like if I was Rhea Ripley and I was in this stable of characters, I would be, first of all, Judgment Day, since you brought it up, Judgment Day, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? Y'all have a great gimmick that you were given. You brought back Prince Devitt for what? Finn Balor is Prince Devitt. Great work. But what are you guys doing though? Like you're fighting Edge. You're fighting Rey Mysterio. You stand to gain nothing. You're not going to get new fans from fighting Rey Mysterio and Edge.
Yeah. They're
Hall of Famers, multi-time world champions.
Yep.
In multiple promotions. Well, for Rey, for Edge, it's been WWE success, but that's all he needed. That was the whole show. Multi-generational talents that aren't going anywhere. You don't need to be beefing with guys who don't even want world titles.
Yeah.
Rey doesn't want the world title because he doesn't need it.
Yeah.
Edge doesn't want the world title because he doesn't need it.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. Like Judgment Day, all of you need titles. You all need some type of title. Find it. Wait, where was Bobby Lashley on this show?
Oh my God. Yeah. And I'm looking at the reviews, Michael Cole's commentary is pretty good in the I Quit match and the Donnybrook match. And but the SmackDown Women's Championship match, like we talked about, it was criticized the weakest, and the strap match between Drew McIntyre, and I get that, but I think the storyline was a good payoff for there. But I mean, we also didn't talk about the return of Bray Wyatt, for the way that he
I
came.
thought we were going to save that for last.
Yeah. We saying, well, we're now on the last part, just like the surprise, right? Here we are.
Bailey. I'm gonna say the same thing to you. What the fuck are you doing? Look, y'all. I might be in the minority here, but Bailey's hot.
Yeah.
She's a great wrestler. She's a hot human. It's time to drop the Karen act. You don't need it. You don't need to be a Karen. We got the fact that you were pissed off that you were getting passed over for your opportunities. But now you're center stage. You've been center stage for 4 straight pay-per-view premium live events. Let it go. Add another element to this character. Otherwise, I no longer want to see that character on TV.
Yeah.
Your lackeys, one of them doesn't speak English. She's a good wrestler, but with 5 minutes to work every match, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
And the other one, awesome. But for what? She doesn't talk either. They don't do nothing but cheer. I'm sorry. Y'all can't stand up against Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, and Asuka in a 3-way. No one's going to believe that. You know why no one's going to believe it? Because all of them are multi-champions.
Yeah.
Build characters and stop throwing them against former champions to do so. Build up characters, make them look strong, give them real storylines. It's not that hard. AEW does it every week.
I was about to get there.
It's not that hard to give them all their own storylines. Yeah, you might think that the fans can't follow it, but believe me, yes, we can. We watch 1 million wrestling shows every week.
Yeah.
Bray Wyatt. Great. Good to see you, man. I'm only worried about one thing. What the fuck are you gonna do? We already got a stalker. We already got a guy who doesn't know how to sell. We already got a guy who he sells, but he's gonna win anyway. We talk about you, Roman. There's no point in trying to talk about Brock Lesnar because once again, a legend. I really hope that Bray comes back. And when he comes, and when he gets to start doing stuff, they let him do Bray Wyatt stuff. That's it. Let him do Bray Wyatt stuff.
Yeah.
Let him terrorize all the champions, not just Roman. Let him terrorize every champion there is. Let him terrorize people who aren't champions. Let him annoy Kevin Owens. Let him take out Baron Corbin. That's it, and that's all. Let him do Bray Wyatt stuff, and then that'll be the end of it.
Yes, sir.
And that's all I got for that.
Yes, sir. AEW, MJF, he talked about the no-show at Double or Nothing. Actually, let me read this. He said, oh my God, this is actually pretty... See, I just had it. Now I don't know what happened to it. Oh, here we go. Yeah. So he basically said in an interview with Sam Roberts that my company lost $10,000 that day. And I say my company because right now they're employing me for the time being. I did not go because my bark at the time was being a fucking mark. So if you don't want to pay me what I'm worth, Daddy does not show up to work. It's that simple. Daddy got the money. Daddy's back. Now me and Tony Khan are best friends. When I stayed inside the hotel room, they did a wellness check on me, the AW security. This is a very true story. They tried to break my door down. Now at the time I had already left. It's real. He literally went to kick my door down for on a wellness check. Now I've understood that were some people that were really let down or offended. And what I say to you is, I don't care. Get over it. I'm happy now. And if you're a fan of me, then you should be happy too, because I'm so rich. MJF will not confirm or deny the story that he bought a plane ticket to leave Las Vegas that weekend.
See what we need.
Oh, yeah.
You see why MJF is not a great wrestler, in my opinion. What he is a great storyteller.
Oh my God, yeah.
And I just wish that they had some of the same money in production. My biggest problem with AEW is the production, not the company as a production. The way that it's presented and the way that we're allowed to consume it. That's my biggest problem.
Yeah,
I think that they need to step their game up just a bit in on the producer side of the show.
Right.
If that happens, awesome. I think that the MJF's ladder match thing was undercooked.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. We also forgot to cover the Battle of the Belts that happened on Friday.
I didn't get this. I can't because I didn't see it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oops.
Yeah, and if you tell me, you will spoil everything.
Okay, so we won't get there. Apologies, listeners.
But if you want, I'll come back. If you want, I'll come back on Friday and discuss the rest of this week's.
Oh yeah, no, we'll definitely do that. And so yeah, I think we can pretty much close it off with obviously from the NFL side once again. Niners are 3-2, leading the NFC West. They play like that, like Randy Cross said, and how Jimmy Garoppolo basically played. They're winning division. They may be the best team in the NFC. I mean, we'll see. You know, now I'm obviously a homer. And I'm biased in that regard, but I've seen the Niners play firsthand in the NFC Championship game almost 3 years ago now, when they won and went to the Super Bowl, which they were up with 8.5 minutes left to play, right? But obviously, you know, the offense needs to continue playing. They need to continue clicking. You know, the Carolina Panthers isn't really a good litmus test. You know, Grant Cohn, you know, a reporter who I don't necessarily respect him, but, you know, he does have some valuable insights occasionally. He basically said the Niners made a statement win by beating the Panthers. So I need to see that momentum, that consistency take place, you know, this week against the Falcons. And obviously the Kansas City Chiefs don't look that good right now. It's second quarter, and let me check the game right now. Last I checked, it was, oh my God, the Raiders are up 17-0 against the Chiefs with 8.5 left in the second quarter. So Patrick Mahomes is 6 of 13 for 56 yards. I mean, Marquez Valdes-Scantling on my fantasy team. He's a leading receiver with only 29 yards. I mean, then Devontae Adams also on my fantasy team. He already has a touchdown. Josh Jacobs on my fantasy team. He has a touchdown. So, you know, this Kansas City team, I'm not saying they're completely beatable this season, but this is the season to take advantage. So if the Niners want to be taken seriously, I believe they need to win out for the rest of October. And, you know, you're going to be back on before that, you know, but I'm just to make that known right now. You know, that's just my standard, you know, because, you know, we got to see that with that team, you know, back in 2019. We got to see it with the team in 2012. They're 6-2. If this team wins out in October, then they're 6-2 heading into the bye week. So, you know, I mean, that would be a pretty good spot to be in, you know, because the remaining schedule does get, I mean, it's not necessarily getting easier, but I mean, it's much more favorable after the bye week. The only teams which I have question marks about are basically maybe the Chargers, not so much, maybe because I mean they played really well yesterday, but also kind of the Buccaneers because they're going to come to town. But Tom Brady, you know, I mean, like you said, he's still Tom Brady, so you know
he's still Tom Brady. There's no telling what's going to happen.
Yeah, and so you know, so we'll see what happens.
I'm more worried about some of the other players on this team than him.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, we'll see how that, you know, shapes out. But yeah, no, that's pretty much it.
We'll know, and I think you can agree with this. We'll know in 3 weeks how the rest of the NFC is going to shape up.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We're going to know exactly if the Eagles can stay undefeated. We're going to know if Green Bay is, and like we said, you know, like I agree with, you know, like Colin Coward said today on the show, they're not a good team. They're just not good. I mean, without Devontae Adams.
No.
You know,
and as it gets colder, we're going to start to see a lot of things change.
Yeah.
I know that there's about 5 to 6 teams that won't have any issues with it.
Right.
But there are about 5 to 6 teams who are going to have a lot of problems with it.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And that'll change the landscape of football. I think give us 3 weeks. Give us 3 weeks to like, what is it, 6 teams that make the playoffs?
Yeah. I know 7.
7. I'm going to say early NFC picks, we're going to go We're gonna go Chicago, Green Bay.
Hmm.
No. I'm gonna go Chicago, Minnesota, San Francisco, Dallas, Philadelphia. And I'd struggle. Los Angeles, they'll come back, and the last team will be a toss-up. It'd be a surprise.
Yeah, no, I think it's gonna be Tampa Bay, not Los Angeles. And
my bad, Tampa. I forgot about them. That's just a given. It'll be Tampa. AFC is harder for me because, as you guys are well aware of, I'm in the Midwest. We don't get the most AFC games, but I'd say my AFC teams are going to be pretty simple. It's going to be the Chargers. It'll. And honestly, if they keep playing well, the Patriots will be there.
Yeah.
I don't think the Raiders are going to be there. I really don't. I think Kansas City will be there. I think now see, man, the AFC is a lot harder, bro.
Yeah.
It really is.
Because the AFC is much more stacked. It's much more stacked, in my opinion. It is. I mean, I've said numerous times on this show, the stacked at QB. You know, I mean, it's basically
Baltimore.
Baltimore, right?
Baltimore will definitely be there. They don't have anybody stopping them.
Yeah. No, I apologize. I didn't say on this show. I said on Circle Back 2 podcast, which I'm going to be on tomorrow with Jason Wilson, my guy who's a guest of this show. You know, and you know, it's funny you mentioned Baltimore. Like I said, my college coach, Keith Williams, also guest of the show. You know, he was on, you know, back basically, you know, almost 2 years ago. You know, he's the passing game coordinator there. And, you know, Baltimore is leading the division. They had a statement win yesterday against Cincinnati to take the lead in the AFC North. And yeah, Lamar Jackson's playing like an MVP right now. 10 touchdowns through 5 games. You know, he's on pace to basically throw for what? I'm thinking like almost 35, 40, maybe 50. I mean, you know, so, I mean, you know, I think, and the really interesting thing about Lamar Jackson's development in the passing game is that he's winning from the pocket, you know, where people thought they wrote him off as a running back, right? So, I mean, you got Lamar Jackson, you got Patrick Mahomes, you got, I mean, even though they're losing right now, I mean, Patrick Mahomes is still an animal and the beast you got to deal with. You got Josh Allen, you know, you still got Joe Burrow, even though they lost yesterday. You know, you still have a lot of good young teams and a lot of great quarterbacks in the AFC, you know, kind of on the come up and who are already kind of established as, you know, the face of the now and the future. So, I mean, it's a lot more difficult to call, in my opinion, too. I do think Buffalo's a given. I think Baltimore's probably
Buffalo's 100% in there.
Yeah.
Baltimore's 100% in there.
Yeah.
Kansas City is 100% in there.
Oh, yeah.
You know, barring an injury to like their starting quarterback is 100% in there.
Right.
Chargers 100% in there. These are not teams that are going to struggle down the line.
Yeah.
Cincinnati, Joe, I'm talking to you, man. You know I love you some Joe Burrow. I love me some Joe Burrow. I'm looking for somebody to replace Tom in my eyes.
Yes, sir.
And I'm not saying you can't do it, Lamar. I'm just saying that you're Lamar Jackson. You don't have to be like Tom.
Yeah.
And I stress that. Stop throwing the ball where you don't have to. Because you're costing me points in fantasy football. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, baby. Can't say
Stop throwing the ball where you don't have to.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got, man. We can revisit it, you know, see what we got. You know, I'm sure you'll go over it and let me know what we picked.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So once again, to close out this episode, I'm going to recap our week 6 picks for all of our viewers. One moment, folks. Let me pull this up. So we have in week 6 of the NFL season, the Bears over the Commanders, the 49ers over the Falcons, the Browns over the Patriots, the Packers over the Jets, the Jaguars over the Colts, the Vikings over the Dolphins, the Bengals over the Saints, the Ravens over the Giants, the Bucks over the Steelers, the Rams over the Panthers, the Cardinals over the Seahawks, the Bills over the Chiefs, the Eagles over the Cowboys, and the Chargers over the Broncos. Close out week 6 coming up. My co-host Cortez, thank you so much for your time today. And we'll catch you on the next one, brother.
Most definitely.
All right.